your sin.
Okay.
So anyway, this is what I want y'all to do. I want you to put your hands together, and I want you to bow your head. And you know that God, when you can speak to Him, even just in your mind, you can speak to Him. So what I'd like for you to do is I want you to bow your head and close your eyes, and silently, but in your mind, I want you to talk to God. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quietly count to 10. And when I get finished, when I count to 10, you can look up and we'll say amen. And what I want you to do is I want you to ask God for forgiveness for any sin that you've committed. Just confess it to Him. Let Him know that you're sorry for it. Okay, so can we do that real quick? Everybody put your hands together, bow your heads, and in your mind, speak to God about your sin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Amen.
Amen. There we go. I just do that because I found that they want to know that it's going to end at some point, so they know
I like that.
to look at the 10. That kind of helps. So,
I think they really I get totally distracted.
yeah.
Listening
Well,
to
and
the
that's
they're the same.
I'm afraid they're going to be counting.
yeah. Well,
Because that,
I mean, you
If you think-
silently. I am too,
yeah. If we're doing what they're doing in church, then that would be appropriate. But I mean, you tell me.
I
Confessing to
like
each
the
other.
confessing quietly, so it is training them for the private time of confession in the church, and it is only 10 seconds. Maybe if you want to count to yourself,
Okay.
maybe that will help them to stay focused. But yeah, I feel strongly that that needs to be in there.
No, I absolutely agree. I just meant the counting. I wondered about the
We
outside
distract
counting.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think would be another way to?
I think just
Do
silently.
19.
And even if they do wonder if it's going to end, they're going to learn over time if we're all doing that.
Okay.
It is going to end. Because
Yeah.
confession is a real thing, and I don't want them to just think we're going through the motions.
Okay. All right. So like maybe just say wait till I say amen, and then you can look up. Would that be the time? Okay. All right.
No, not yet.
One
Y'all go
quick
ahead.
thing.
Fine.
One time I did an experiment on Mitchell. I just an experiment, just to see how it worked. A transition. You know how y'all are encouraging us to end snack, and then you're inviting them to come into worship. That worked real well. And then one time, in order to get to this part when they confess their sins, one week I thought it would be good to stop. They couldn't come any further. So what I did is I said, oh, we can't worship anymore. They go, what? I said, because there's something in our way. I said,
Very
"What?"
good.
Oh yeah.
Very,
And I
very
said, you know what? Jesus is calling you to come really close to Him. But so far, we've only been able to come this far, but you can't come any further. Now, when you say you can't, I'm telling you, it's something in them tricks
I
them.
love it.
They get more interested. And then what I did is I said, okay, let's come closer. There's one thing you have to do. And I said, we have really done some bad things this week. And Jesus says, you can't come any closer to me unless you tell me what to do. All right. He wants us to say right now, real quiet, in our head, we got to whisper to Jesus what we did. Then once we do that, then we can come closer. And that's what I did, and it seemed to work. That transition got their attention. It turned them, and then it helped
Did
them.
you do it every week, or was it just
I
one
did it
time?
once. I did that 1 week.
The rest of the weeks?
I do it every time, and then they stop. I go, huh?
So you're saying before you even
That is
started
awesome.
worship.
Yeah, I'm real big on transition.
No, she had started worship.
I
And
had
it's when you got to
started
the
the
time
worship.
of renewal.
Right, because when you get into the car and you come to church, when you get them up in the morning, that's worship. We're worshiping now. We're getting ready and dressed for God. All right, that's one. I rehearsed it for them. I said, what did your mommy and daddy do today? They got us up. I said, that's part of worship. We're going to a physical place. Going to God's building is one way to worship Him. And then you get here to church, and then when they get in and they do their little snack, I said, okay, guess what? Jesus is calling us. He wants us
Between
to
the
come and
snack
worship
and
So it
right
is,
after
okay.
the snack.
Yeah.
That's the transition.
That's right.
When they get in, and then I lead them I always try to make a point. What is Mom and Daddy doing? what's Pastor Carter doing? Let's do it. And then I'll next transition, which is hard, that prayer, stop. You can't come any further. Huh? And then they stop.
That's great.
So I thought
Really good. Yeah.
making the transition might help and focus. And then I said, let's quiet, real quick.
I still think it might be
And
really
just
good after worship, after the singing and praising and hymns when they're having fun.
Yeah.
Say, okay, we gotta stop. That would, I think, would also be a good time
Yeah,
to do.
I'm just, I was
That's
just
an
trying to get an
awesome-
idea
Yeah, that's
to
great.
break it up
Awesome.
so that they can concentrate.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I'm always trying to say, what are they doing right
Yeah.
now? What are they doing right now?
Mhm.
That kind of.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Well, I hope it works.
No, that's
It
awesome.
worked well with y'all's kids when I did it. So.
Very, very good. So then, okay, so we're still in the time of renewal, and I would just, have them repeat, have y'all repeat. In my distress,
In my distress,
I called to the Lord,
I called to the Lord,
and He answered me.
and He answered me.
And then this is another time praying for one another. Y'all, we're going to pray for each other. In church, you will see one of our, not deacons, one of our elders come up and talk about the needs of the people in our church, the needs of the people in our community. So we're
I
going
want to do it.
You want to do it?
I want to do it.
Why don't you be the first person to tell us, what do you want us to pray for you about?
I want to
I'm
pray
gonna
that
write
she seeks forgiveness. That's what I want to pray for.
down. You know what? Okay, all right.
Pick me in a hurry.
We'll do that after worship praying. Is there anything about your week or anybody in your family that...
My grandma's sick.
Okay, all right. So, little Carol's grandma's sick. All right. And I do try to write them down. I'm sure y'all done. Yeah.
No, I don't write them down. That's good.
Well, it's just because my memory. I mean, I know.
Well, no, it might be good.
So-
Then they see us writing.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
They
Okay.
can see us, it's important.
Yeah.
Writing. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Any prayer requests?
You're a boo-boo.
You have a boo-boo? Oh, I'm sorry. How'd you get your boo-boo?
Riding my lipstick.
Oh. We'll definitely pray for you, boo-boo. All right. And one more.
And my frog. My frog ate my fish. My fish got in heaven. My fish is in heaven.
Oh, yes.
Inside the frog's tummy.
But then again, they probably heard about something like, a lot of people are suffering in heat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's the current things. I remember when I was a little kid, that stuff just weighed me.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of them are,
That age though, I really didn't let my kids hear the news too much at that age, so that they wouldn't.
Some things it's kind of hard to miss it. but
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
We just,
So some current then?
anyway, just find
Yeah,
out.
like
If they
saying-
bring it
But
up.
maybe
If they bring it up.
If they bring
okay.
it
So
up.
that's why I was
Oh.
going to say, that I didn't want to look like I'm smart aleck. There's a situation in Haiti.
Yeah.
Teacher's pet.
Suffering and devastation. That's the place right by the Dominican Republic. Okay. Okay, yeah, so we'll write about that, okay. And then, I tend just to do the prayer, because sometimes is that good or bad?
It does,
Anything?
it goes a lot quicker if the adult or the leader is
Yes.
doing it. But again, I let the children do it and maybe not take the time to list it, but just letting them go, one by one, saying a one prayer sentence of whatever is burdening their heart
Okay.
at the time.
Their
Yeah,
own
when the one
prayer?
child's
Their
saying it
own
all,
prayer.
you just let each child say, oh,
Yeah.
pray for my boo-boo. And then she
Okay.
prays for people in Haiti. And
Right.
I asked them to pray for another child's prayer.
Yeah, and then I said, but having someone come up and pray.
Yes.
Instead of yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
having
it's
someone come
praying
up
for
and
one
pray
another.
does
Oh, that's
represent
right.
it.
They're